Oh, hello everybody. We're still trying to get this straightened up and going. It's got. Oh wait, maybe I can do this. It's got this weird orientation that we're gonna have to deal with. Ah, might not be able to use our iPad for this. Mm, don't like that.
Maybe put it down further? What do you think?
I may have to just hold it.
Hmm.
But hello everybody. It's Ardeus.
And Sam.
All right, and we did say we were going to. It said somebody was waiting, but they're not on here anymore. Um, yeah, it's got this weird orientation. We may have to get like something to bring that out.
Hmm. Or maybe try it from this, like put that this way to where it's.
Yeah, and how are you gonna get in it?
Hmm.
Anyway, it's gonna be a challenge to find the right place to go, the right lighting, the right setup for it. As you can see, we're both sitting on the same side of the table. For those of you watching a little bit later, and we got our one person back. So um, you forgot to let your sister-in-law know we were going
I
live.
did. I did forget.
You might
Hmm.
have to use my phone because yesterday she called Verizon to see why on our unlimited internet plan we were getting charged $7,000 for it, and they said we were on the wrong plan. They
I
sent
forgot to
her
call you to
a
say we're live on YouTube.
they sent her
Okay. Bye.
a verification, and she verified it through text. And then from then on, her text hasn't worked since. So,
Verizon doesn't love me right now, guys.
okay, let's see. I saw that message. Let me look. Um,
Hmm.
let's
There
see.
we go.
All right, is it true JF Trucker has been laying pipe?
Oh,
Oh,
y'all.
I knew that was going to come up.
Y'all are funny.
Yeah,
So funny.
it is not true. JF Trucker, I've watched some of his videos, and
He likes to stir stuff up.
yeah, he likes to stir stuff up, and he has said he's been with so many other truckers. He's been with so many of these female truckers, so many of these truckers' wives, and all. And every time he does it, and he ticks somebody off enough to threaten him um, with a lawsuit, he backs out and takes the video down. Then he goes on to the next one, then on to the next one. So we do not believe that that shows any merit and really doesn't need an answer. My wife has been with me 365 days a year for the last 2.5, 3 years, pretty much. And so there's
Haters
no,
gonna hate.
yeah. And, don't, I wouldn't believe anything he says. Just look at his other videos and how many times he's lied about being with women. I don't think that, I don't think he can get anybody unless he's paying for it.
Hmm.
But I'm going to try to be
But
nice
we're
here.
gonna take the nice way.
We're going to try to take the high road here.
Oh,
Yeah, this is
put something behind it.
no, it isn't that. It's this.
Ah.
I can't balance it on an
Mm.
iPad on like an eighth of an inch.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
all right. So we had five. Now we're back down to two. So, um,
If you have legitimate questions, put them at the bottom. Something that you believe you could
yes.
actually get an answer to that's not total hype and craziness. We're kind of old for all that.
Okay. All right. So, okay.
Welcome to live chat. Yay.
Yes. Welcome to live chat, people. All right. So, being no one's asking questions right now, we'll just go over a few of the questions we've had the last couple weeks. Um,
Sure.
and most of it's about leasing. We are leasing. We will be switching at the end of this lease to a lease purchase. We know several people who are in the lease purchase, and they're all happy. So the first thing, a question about leasing, uh, do I have to buy fuel where they say I have to buy fuel? Because a lot of people who have no idea about the leasing program with Prime uh, have that question. And here is the answer to that question. We've answered it several times, but we'll answer it here on the live. You are not leasing from Prime. You are leasing from Success Leasing, which is a subsidiary of New Prime Inc. Uh, However, in the contract, and one of these days I'm going to go through the full contract line by line.
Yeah.
In the contract, it states you do not have to lease and stay with Prime and haul Prime freight. You can go somewhere else, anywhere else you want to, as long as you pay the weekly payment. And the second one is, well, the first one is, do you have to fuel? No, you do not have to fuel where they say. The fuel optimization is a program that they've spent millions developing, and it looks at over 144 different aspects of your trip and gives you the lowest cost, maybe not the lowest price, but the lowest cost to you, including the taxes, if the taxes.
Yep.
So fueling where they say to fuel is good because it's already been generated. That's your best possible place. But you can fuel anywhere. I can fuel even mom and pops. If I swipe my card and it doesn't allow me, I just call the fuel desk and they open it up. So I can fuel anywhere I want to. But why would I want to when someone spent millions of dollars with an optimization tool that allows me to get the best price for my fuel in the long run, not just the short run? And if I don't use their fueling card or I don't use their fueling network, I don't get the discounts. Like I forgot what was it. What was the price here? I mean, I can look at it real quick, and that's not going to help. I already tried.
Something on that side.
I already tried. Then the top's going to be in the air.
Ah.
All right. So just for instance, the loves we're at, my discount, I get it for $2.72 a gallon. All right, I'm going to go on Trucker Path and see what they say the fuel cost is here. And they say $3.81 a gallon. That's with their discount. Okay. And their discount is 12 cents a gallon. So, actually, it's not many spots here. It's about 7, but okay. So their discount is about 12 cents a gallon. So take that 382 and add 12 cents, 394 is basically what the price is, and we're getting it for 272. So why would I give that up? Another question we had was, another statement someone said was, you can't get tires anywhere and you can't get your truck worked on anywhere. I can get tires anywhere I want to. I can pay I can use tires, I can get recaps, I can do what I want. But why would I not want to take advantage of their nationwide discount? For one. For two, I can't get it repaired. I can get it repaired anywhere I want to. The only limitation to getting my truck repaired is it has to be an authorized repair shop that will not void the factory warranty. Okay, I can work on it myself. I'm an authorized tech, but myself, I don't have the Freightliner training, so it would void the warranty. So I do what I can, the little things, and then the bigger things, I bring it into a shop.
Yep.
Now, if I bring it into a prime shop, instead of paying $165 an hour for labor, I pay $90 an hour for labor. So that saves me money there. Plus, they give me a discount on parts, and so it helps out. Now, what was that other one? The third part that guy had that he was griping about leasing.
Trying to remember.
I don't remember. Um, anyway, if you have any questions, this is a question and answer. Just send it down in the bottom.
Yep.
Now, and we'll answer it. I'm sorry, I'm having to hold it because I can't put it down. We're gonna have to fix something because my mic connection for our wireless mics is at the bottom of where we have to sit the tablet, and so it's got a precariously
Perch.
balance and perch on that.
Yep.
So we're trying to figure out something that will allow us. And then the lighting, all right, that'll work for a little bit.
Awesome.
Okay, the tablet might fall. Okay, people. Can you change your own oil? Yes, I have talked with them with RotoAssist. No, I can change my own oil. When I change my oil, I send in the receipt for the oil. That's proof to them that the oil was changed, and some, like my RotoAssist person knows that I was a technician, so he doesn't ask for proof other than the receipt. Some of them will ask for pictures of the oil draining, pictures of the oil pan you drain the oil in, pictures that you actually turn the oil in to the loves to be recycled. That's just keep making sure that you're doing what you need to do for the climate. And then they will give me credit for the oil change. In other words, they'll reset that PM for the oil change. Now, keep in mind when you do an oil change, you also want to change the oil, change the filters, and change the fuel filter. That's all part of the oil change PM. Okay.
And don't do it unless you're completely comfortable with it, because you can mess up your truck pretty bad.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, we know somebody, the first time they got their oil changed, they told them, go ahead and start the truck. And their truck was running perfectly. They were at a prime shop. They turned the key. The truck didn't start. This woman flew out of her truck and started screaming and hollering at the techs. What the heck did you do to my truck? It was running fine. They're like, no. We just need to have you prime the fuel pump and get the fuel filter full of fuel. Just turn the key and give it about 10 seconds, then start it. And it started right up, and she calmed down. Now, another thing we saw today, and keep watching our chat, baby,
Gotcha.
is someone put on Prime Uncensored that Prime does not help with the mental fitness and physical fitness of their drivers. That is wrong. They have, in several documents, the National Suicide Hotline 988. They pay for all 100% free mental health care for all company drivers. For lease drivers, we get, I want to say,
It's a percentage.
3 or 5 hours of free calls, and then we have to pay. But if you need the mental health, pay for it. Then we have driver health and fitness. Now, Colby and Rachel will be glad to talk to you. So will the personal trainers at the other terminals. And one thing about mental health is you have to have physical health too. One of the best things you can do for your mental health is about an hour before you leave, get out and walk for about a mile or two. It's going to get endorphins going. It's going to get your adrenaline pumping. It's going to make you feel so much better. It's going to wake you up for the drive. And when you release those endorphins from exercising, walking, and it's a brisk walk, not just walking around, mulling around. Thanks for a thumbs up. But that is something that will help you in your journey towards better mental health. We got to take care of our mental state, our physical state, and our spiritual state. And we wholeheartedly believe that. And we know we've been through depressions and stuff, both of us. And we know that being outside, being active, being, continuing your journey to you know, get better physical health, definitely helps your mental health. Um, and then another thing, we always, at the end of our videos, we try to put, and she's been doing a lot of shorts lately. I haven't got to them all.
Put
I
our
try to put our
contact info.
contact information. If you feel you need help, call us. And the way I tell people is, if I get 3 or 4 calls back to back from the same number, I do have hands free. I do have it hooked up through the radio. I'll answer. I may not be the one talking. My wife might be the one talking, so I can concentrate on the road. But if I'm driving, we want everybody to know that there's an outlet. It's not just us. You can call and talk to your fleet manager, although he may be the cause for your stress.
No,
You
never.
know, you can call. I mean, we know because of social media, because of the fact that you're not home, because you're away from your family, that it's easier for friends and family just to ghost you. It's easier for friends and family not to talk to you. It's easier for friends and family to say something nasty to you because you're not right there. And so we're always here for people if they need. There's also groups on Discord. There's party lines. There's groups on lots of video chats that help people with that type of stuff.
Definitely, even though you're on the road and a lot of times alone, you shouldn't ever forget that you're not alone, that a lot of other people are doing the exact same thing. And there are usually plenty of people who will talk to you and take your call and let you vent.
Okay, Sky, hello from New Orleans. Jeremy, uh, yes, you can ask any question you want.
Sure,
Chat is fun. Um, so, how much money do we earn? Uh,
that varies
yes,
greatly.
that varies greatly because we are leased. 1 week we can earn a lot. A
Yeah,
few weeks ago we had a $3,000 net check.
that's
Uh,
net. Gross
this gross
was
was about 7,600, 7,700.
some weeks,
Last year,
meh.
leasing for from June to December, we grossed $155,000 because of our fuel
It's not what we took home.
consumption. We took home about, I want to say, before we wrote off the upgrades and stuff, that in the ice box and the TV and the Xbox and
We
all,
spent a lot.
we probably brought home about 74,000 because we have really good fuel economy. We're getting about between 4 and 8 cents a mile consistently. We get 9.5 to 10.5 miles per gallon consistently, and we're still driving, you know, 27 to 3,400 miles a week because I'm the only driver.
I'm
I'm the
gonna try to
solo
log in
driver.
on my phone so I can see
Yeah,
the comments.
but to answer that, uh, some weeks like this past week we got paid $1,375. I know that because I tithe 10% the minute the money hits the bank account. So 2 days ago I got $1,375. Our average this year, I keep up with our average. Our average this year has fallen because of the freight market and all. Our net average per week has fallen to about $2,200 a week. Last year it was between 24 and 2,700. I think the actual number was like 2,650 a week was what we actually averaged over the whole year. Um, all right,
I don't think it's let me get in.
Jerry, can you run off-road fuel to save money? No, you cannot. You cannot. If you run off-road fuel, it will mess up the after treatment system, and it's completely illegal. And they can tell it if they do an inspection and they believe we bought off-road fuel, they're going to ask to see our receipt for the last fueling stop. And if it's not on-road fuel, we're in trouble. All right. I
There's a
know
lot
there's a
of
way.
There's a lot of stuff you can do, but there's also a lot of stuff that will void your warranty. And your
And
warranty is the one thing you want to keep intact. If you've ever leased or owned a vehicle, um, you understand how critical that warranty is. So whatever you can do to stay within the warranty to where it will cover major breakdowns that should be covered.
where it will cover
There we go. Yeah,
major
turn the
break.
volume down.
all
uh,
right,
but it works the same as your pickup truck or your motorcycle or anything else. You know, your warranty needs to be kept intact, and they will find any reason to void it.
yes, there's actually, um, and I've talked to the Freightliner rep and a couple others. They do not recommend us to use Howes anti-gel, and the reason being is Freightliner, after so much Howes has been put in the fuel and ran through the engine, voids the warranty. Don't know why. Don't know if it's Freightliner has a feud against Howes or what, but that's what we've been told by technicians, both at Freightliner and at Prime.
Yeah.
So we don't use the Howes. In fact, let's just be honest. When we go through the terminal, we'll get as many bottles of anti-gel that they'll sell us at the terminal,
It's a lot
and
cheaper
it's a
than
lot
trying to get
cheaper.
it all on the road.
I want to say last year we paid like $3 or $4 for a gallon per gallon of anti-gel,
I don't even remember,
and we
but I
still
know it
have a
was.
lot of it up in a tote on the top
We
bunk.
didn't use very much, guys. There
No,
wasn't a whole lot of like cold days or snowy days to
right,
where they kind of kept us in the middle of the country. And so we didn't go up into Montana and Washington and stuff and
right.
really need that as much as what we thought we
And
would.
the only time we used it was honestly, we're in an area where it's not going to dip below freezing or it's not going to dip below zero, and the fuel hasn't been treated
Right.
at the fuel pump, but we're heading into an area where the fuel is going to drop to like 10 below, 15 below, 16 below, and we need the fuel treated. That's when we used it.
Yeah.
You need to pay attention to where you're at. Has the fuel been treated? Does it need to be treated? Where are you going? Has the fuel been treated? Does it need to be treated?
Right. So that trip we took from Florida where we filled up and then we were heading up to by by Washington. It was like it's right next to there, Idaho or something. I don't remember. We were heading way up in the corner of the west side of the US. And so we knew that fuel we got in Florida was not treated at all. Um so we ended up having to treat it ourselves before got into the weather where um
Right. And
it
none of
was
the
needed.
fuel that we were going up there, we stopped in Tennessee to fuel. We stopped in Illinois to fuel. Uh, None of the fuel was treated yet
Yeah.
because some of the places said we treat fuel at 0 degrees and we treat fuel at -10 degrees. So we
It
went ahead and just
it varies
treated it.
greatly. So I mean, if nothing else, if you don't know if the fuel's been treated, just ask. They'll tell you. Um, and when in doubt, treat it anyway. If
Yes.
you know you're going into an area where it's like negative 15 degrees or something, and you know your fuel's going to jail,
Yeah.
just
And
be cautious.
sometimes you need double or triple treat fuel gel. All right. Well, your fuel with the anti gel. Now, can we make more money on short runs or long runs? It really depends on your time
Right. Because
and
we
how
had
you
a
have your clock
great
set.
week one time with short runs.
Yes, and we know several people who would avoid the short runs and got stuck in the Virginia, West Virginia, Tennessee, Georgia, Alabama, Florida area. And they made jokes that they were a regional driver for like 3 weeks. But
We did
if
it for
you're,
like 2 weeks.
yeah, if you pick up and you can deliver same day or early the next day and have something to pick up, those are very lucrative. We have done weeks of just short runs and made 7, 8 grand. Our one 9 grand week was short runs for a whole week.
Yep.
As far as grossing, but like 2 weeks ago, we took a load from Washington of apples down to Florida, and that load by itself, a 5 day load, paid us $6,800.
Gross.
And then we got another short load for $1,400. So that
it varies.
It varies wildly. And what I suggest to people is this, and I know it's not a popular thing. When you go talk to your fleet manager, when you first meet your fleet manager, I don't care what company you drive for, let them know what you won't do. Okay? Like I told him, I drove in the 90s. That was back when you could put a 53-foot reefer into inner city New York. We're talking Harlem, we're talking Yonkers, we're talking, the inner city. And I've been in there. So I told him, I said, I don't want to go into New York. I'll go through New York. I don't want to go into New York. And anytime I can, I'm going to go around New York City, not the state. And I don't want to go to inner city Chicago. Now, that because I had a problem there that I'm not going to go over
right
on. But if you want to know,
but
you
Chicago's
can
dangerous.
text me. But I told him that's the two places I don't want to go. And I told him, and I even told him, I said, look, we plan on getting a small mini fleet going. And whenever I have a mini fleet going, I don't want any of my drivers going to New England. And he said, that's doable. That's good. Be upfront with your fleet manager. And then whenever they send you loads, take it. You don't know what the plan is. They hire planners, they hire sales, they hire your fleet manager. They know the plan. They know where the freight's going to be picking up. They know where it's going to be dropping off. And they're going to try to get you where the freight's picking up. They're also going to try to get you there. Okay, they don't take more than 28%. That 28% pays everybody, logs, your fleet manager, everything. Everybody gets a piece of that 28%. So
more money you make, more money they make.
Exactly. The more money you make, the more money they make. They're directly dependent on what you make. Yes, they may have 100 drivers, but out of that 100 drivers, they're probably getting 0.5% or less of each load. So if he can get you a better load, he's going to. And if he can get you in an area where you can get a better load, you may have to wait 3 or 4 days or take 2 or 3 loads if you don't want to go there and not make as much money as if you were just taking that first load and went and then got the good load coming back. We did not want to go to Washington.
No.
When we got to Washington, we were paid $2,300 on a load coming in. Then we got that $6,800 load coming down to Florida. We didn't want to go to Washington. We did.
But
we
didn't know the plan. And that's the thing, is you're not always going to know why they're sending you somewhere.
Yes, Stephen. Yes, I drove when we didn't have GPS. We didn't have cell phones. We used maps. And in fact, I still got it. I buy an atlas every year. And I do occasionally pull the atlas down and check on things. One of the worst places we could go with the atlas was New York. Never, ever updated their maps. And so the bridge clearings were never right. And it was just like pulling teeth. And they would actually have officers that would stay at bridges that they knew in the atlas said, say 14.5, but the bridge was actually 12.6 because they resurfaced the road so many times. And I've had to back in snow in a snowstorm about 300 yards to get away from one of those bridges. So yes, I drove when we just had maps. And how we did that was we would sit down, we would plan our route, then you write on 3x5 note cards where your next turn was and how many miles to it. And you sat there with a ruler, a slide rule and all, and you figured it out, then you put those notes cards on your dash. And as we were driving, when we take that exit, there goes that note card. And then when you stopped driving for the night, you picked up the note cards off your floor and threw them away. Another thing was, and I highly suggest people get this, is the CB radio. I have a CB, and when you hit traffic, you can find out what's going on. You leave it on, you can find out where the police are and where the speed traps are. You can find out where they're pulling trucks over for inspections. And the most important thing is, during the winter, you can find out where black ice is, where everybody's skidding and everybody's losing control. They will let you know where that is.
And where the accidents are currently, what roads are blocked off, how to go around it. Because we get some good advice on the CB. Mm-hmm. Hey, y'all, this road's, we had a truck flip and lose his load, and if you take this exit and go around, you'll get through it. And so it helps us out tremendously because we're not sitting still.
There are so many people who don't have CBs now that as we're exiting to get around the accident, we see trucks just piling up. And as we come around, we can see the whole line of stopped traffic, just dead stop traffic. And we go 3, 4, 5 miles down the road, hop back on the interstate, and boom, we're gone. All because we had a CB.
It's very important.
Yes.
It's considered your safety equipment, and you can write it off on your taxes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anything you purchase for your truck, anything can be a write-off.
I just saw a comment come up, but I couldn't read it.
Yeah, it says trying to make pickups and delivery with no GPS. That was fun. Yeah, what we did was you get your load, and they have an address. And so we had a city and a state. We find how to get there. Then before we left, we call the shipper and say, okay, I'm coming in on so-and-so. My load number is such and such. I'm coming in from the east side down, say, Interstate 20. How do I get to you? And they would give you directions, and you write those directions down. And then when you got in, you did the same with your receiver. And what you usually did was, while you were waiting to be loaded at the shipper, you called the receiver and got the last mile directions from them, which made it harder. I mean, GPS made it so much easier, but you got to watch your GPS too, because a lot of GPSs are not truck GPSs, and they will lead you in crazy places. We've seen people in graveyards following a regular GPS.
We've seen people creepy.
In ditches, and I have used GPSs since they came out, and I have had, even up until last year, well, we had a GPS because my wife pulled it up because before I got the trucker GPS, I had Trucker Path, but my phone died because I forgot to plug it in, and our navigation went out. So my wife quickly pulled it up on her phone, and the first thing it said, it said, make illegal U-turn. And we just looked at each other and said, nope. Pulled off, turned on my flashers, got my phone plugged in, got Trucker Path going again, and we took off. And it led us
that
straight
regular
to it.
GPS, that car GPS, is what some people use, and it will ask you to do some crazy stuff. And a lot of times when I see these little posts about the 18-wheelers who are trying to do a U-turn, I'm like, I think they have that GPS that is just telling them what a car should do. And they go ahead and just make the U-turn and don't make the U-turn.
Yes. And by the way, anybody who doesn't drive a truck or thinking about driving a truck or something like that, payphones at truck stops. Yes, we had to do that. Oh man. We had to use payphones. But any U-turn, unless it's specifically built for trucks, is illegal.
Yeah, don't use it.
And you'll see the ones that are specifically built for trucks. You're going to have 1 to 2 lanes to turn. It's going to be no road, but there's going to be an outcropping, a huge outcropping of asphalt or cement for you to turn around on. But
There's a
yes,
few of those. We
we
get a couple.
whenever I drove in the '90s, I drove for CR England back when they were a great company to drive for, and the Columbias were out. I wanted a classic Freightliner. I got in the training program. I finally did get a classic Freightliner, but they had these things called parking views. That if you got a small TV, cable ready TV, you could pay a monthly fee. I think it was like $20, $24, and it was only pilots. No, it was only Petros and TAs that had them. It was a yellow box, and you pulled up, you cracked your window, you put an extension cord, you put your cable, and you put a phone line. You went down there and you plugged it up, and then you logged in.
He's telling his age, y'all.
You had a registered phone number that was usually a local number for your house. So mine was, we lived in Beaumont, Texas at the time, so ours was a 409 area code.
Yep.
And then I would plug it up and I could call my wife and I could watch TV. Basic cable, 7 channels. All right.
That is so funny to think about now with how many channels everybody's got to choose from and all the services.
I'd spend an hour on the phone. And the thing about it is we didn't have cell phones. We didn't have any of that. So that's just how it was.
More people stirring the pot.
More people stirring the pot.
Guys, we're too old for that.
Yeah, we're too old. We've been married for 30 years. We have children who are...
We have grandchildren.
We have 11 grandchildren. We don't play with anybody. That JF trucker, he's
just trying to get views, and it's working, y'all.
Yeah, it's working for him. But we've been together for
31 years.
Yeah. Well, I think
almost 32.
Last year, she went home for like a month and a half, just to take care of some stuff and all. And if you watch my channel, you'll know when she went home. Yeah. But all this that he's saying, we have never even met this guy.
No,
neither one of us.
We looked at his picture just to see if we'd ever seen him before anywhere, to where he would get some kind of obsession.
Clarissa says you have to tell her. We'll give you a call.
We'll give you a call, girl. There's always a trucker trying to say that they've done something with a woman that they ain't done nothing with.
Yeah. So, I mean, he's been caught in so many lies. He's taken down several videos where he said, oh, I was with so-and-so a trucker. I was with so-and-so. I think one of them was...
feels like high school, guys.
Yeah, yeah. And, I mean, he has said he's been with, I think, the list is long.
Yeah, y'all don't feed into that stuff.
Something. There was another one. He said he was with Kersey. There was another one that said he was with. Who's that girl that Slime Pack? He said he was with Slime Pack. I mean, he still got a lot of them down. And now there's another trucker who's actually been calling him on it, saving his videos for whenever he does take them down, and he posts them back up saying, "You didn't say it."
You know what? There's drama llamas everywhere.
Yeah.
And we definitely don't feed into that.
Jersey, we try not to feed into that. Just to let you know, me and my wife have not been with anybody else in over 30 years, and we don't plan on it. It's
too dangerous out there for anybody, even if you're single, to be going crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been married 30. We'll make 31 years in April.
And the whole thing, Jersey, is if he's bringing us up, and
that means he watched.
I can get the gist of what he's saying, because I haven't seen any of his videos where he said this. I haven't even seen any videos where he refers to us. No. I'm just hoping he's referring to us mostly in a good light. But he has not been any of the little things, laying pipe, anything like that. He has not been with, we don't even know him.
Probably any of those people he's claiming to be with.
Right.
He hadn't even met.
We haven't even met him.
You know what? You know what? He reminds me of those people who, like, watch a video and think that it's real life, like they've actually been
Yeah,
there
they
and
watch
done
a
that.
movie and they've been there, done that.
Sure.
Like my brother who watched a
Mhm.
movie about Vietnam and swore he was a Vietnam vet, and he wasn't even
Y'all
born
don't
until
even go there.
1976. I mean, he would have been 3 years old at the end of Vietnam. I mean, come on.
People have, you know, severe issues sometimes.
Delusions.
Delusions of grandeur.
Mhm. Yes, Jersey. He said he's been handling business with numerous prime drivers. And if I can't remember the guy who's been calling him out, but I watched some of his videos
I
and
know.
he flat out said, "Here's your video. Here's a clip where you said you were with this person. Why'd you take it down? It wasn't because she's threatened to sue you. Was it because she threatened because you were ruining her brand to try to build your own that she was bringing you to court? Is that why you took it down?" And it's
It's
we
hilarious,
try
but
not
it's very
to feed into that hype and into that type of thing. That's why we
crazy.
stay away from it. We don't put clickbait. We
Mm-mm.
don't overreact. We don't do a lot of things. We try to tell people how it is and show people what it's like on the road. We don't throw fits. We don't. I mean, how you see us and the quipping back and forth in our videos and how we pick with each other is actually how we are in real life.
Yep. If you've met us at a terminal, you know this
Yeah,
is just how we are. We pick with each other, but we definitely don't do things for views or stuff like that. We try to
yeah,
be informative and try to help people because if you're getting into this business and you've never done it before,
mhm,
you have so many questions and you don't know who to trust because people lie.
yeah.
There are truckers who will tell you, "Oh, you just pour blinker fluid in this spot and it'll work great." You know who? Guys, come on.
But yeah, Tracy, I understand. I understand. But yeah, he hasn't even met us, hasn't. And my phone number is on our videos.
Call.
Never called. He's never emailed. He's never nothing. So, you know, he can keep doing his thing. We'll keep doing ours.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's Miss Mother Trucker. Yeah, and that's one of the videos where he said he had already slept with Miss Mother Trucker several times.
The
One time
lies.
in her truck at a terminal, and then he took it down. And that's where the other guy said, "Hey, here it is. Here's you saying that you were with her." So
Not sure why people think that they have to do that. I mean,
yeah,
but okay.
but yeah, I've been around the trucking industry since before we had ABS brakes, before we had disc brakes. Back, I've driven trucks with the splitter on the floor.
Stephen, I don't think he knows the Lord, but you can pray for the Lord to help him.
Yeah,
Because I don't think you would say anything about doing that with people that you don't even know if you had any kind of relationship with the Lord.
yeah. Um, but yeah, we just try to show it how it is and teach people some of the things on the road and some of the stuff that we've learned over the years. And you know, we've helped people, and that's what we're here for. You know.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, you have to be able to sleep with what you've done that day and what you've, and if someone asks for help and you don't, help them through their questions and what they need to actually be successful. Because, I mean, people don't get out on the road in a truck with the intention of failing. They get out, but they don't know how to succeed.
Yeah. Hey Corey, we understand, and it's we're not knocking anybody for trying to figure out what's going on.
No, y'all have
We're
fun.
just trying to stay away from that subject because if we give it merit, people will believe it.
Right.
But nothing. I mean, we
And
haven't even met this guy.
if you get mad, then that person's won. I mean, honestly, you can't let people upset you by saying lies about you. You just keep going and doing what you do.
Yep. And let's see. But we're the type of people. I mean, my wife has seen. Uh, we'll be on the road, and someone will just walk up and sit down. Usually, a female driver will just walk up and sit down and just start talking to us. And
Sometimes it's to get away from a male driver who's
right,
following them around.
and that's what it usually is. People recognize us, and you know, we've done that. We've had drivers come up to us and ask, "Hey, you have any, you know, you have any coolant? Do you have any oil? Do you have any?" I don't have, and I don't have any money to go get it, and
We all
I'll
have
open
bad
up.
weeks, guys.
Yeah, we
We
open
do.
up and we help, and we've helped people fix high hooks. We've helped people with tire problems. We've helped. I mean, if you need help and you see our truck, and if you've been watching our channel, you know what our truck looks like. I mean,
It stands out in the parking lot.
yeah, and so we are always willing to help, especially if we have the time. If we're on a tight load, we may not be able to, but we will do our best.
Or lead you in the right direction to where you
Right.
can get the help you need. But I mean, definitely if you see us, we like going out to eat with people and kind of bouncing ideas off and
Mhm.
talking because you learn something no matter how long you've been doing this game. You can always learn something new.
Right. And guys, one of the best words of advice I can give you if you get in the trucking industry is don't listen to these old guys and what they've done and what they say you can do and what you can get away with. Um, it's not true. You may get away with it for a little while, but you will get caught. And when you get caught, it's going to come back on you.
Just
And
learn the right way to do stuff.
yes, and I
Somebody
was
put
driving.
something else. I couldn't see it though.
No, I've already taken care of that.
Okay, cool.
Like I tell people all the time, back in the '90s, I don't know when they changed it, but California, their bug stations was an actual way station. Every entry point had an actual way station. It wasn't set up like the toll booth type things, and you had to go in. And there were officers that if you passed the scale, they would pull you over. And when you go in, if you drove a drive-in or a reefer and they couldn't see the load, they'd have you park and bring your paperwork in, uh, the entry ports. And so we would do that. And I thought I was going to be funny. Oh, hello, Mr. Oh, I don't want to say that because I know how they get. But welcome and thank you for subscribing. Um, anyway, my first time solo, I walk in and they said, "What are you hauling?" And I knew we called them bug stations because they didn't want produce brought in because they didn't want any fruit flies. So I told them one big fruit fly. They told me, "Pull over there," and they inspected my truck, my contents of my truck. Second time I went, I was actually hauling Charmin toilet paper, and they asked me, "What are you hauling?" And I said, "A truckload." Because the lady, she says, "You're light, man. What are you hauling?" I said, "I got a truckload full of toilet paper. I heard there's some dirty butts here in California. Pull over there." So the third time I went, I was like, "Yeah." They said, "What are you hauling?" I handed them my paperwork. I was like, nope, I'm not saying anything. And the guy looked at me and said, "How come?" I said, "Y'all don't have a sense of humor here." And he said, "Not while we're working." So I learned my lesson. And some lessons we have to learn the hard way.
Hmm.
Uh, like when
Especially when you're a smarty pants.
Yeah, and we know a lot of people who are like they listen to those older guys and they're like they hear this is how you handle your fleet manager. This
This
is
is how
how
you handle your trainer.
right. And then they get on solo, they get their truck, whether company um or lease, and they will call their fleet manager and say, "What the are you doing? I ain't taking and then what happens is yes, his pay is dependent on your pay or her pay is dependent on your pay. But would you like to be treated like that? Just out of the blue, someone calling and screaming at you? Uh, yeah. Um,
Gotta love it.
yeah. Anyway, would you like that? if you don't want that, you shouldn't subject somebody else to that. So when you turn around and you turn it around,
They ask us
you
if
don't
we're
want.
U.S. citizens every time. That has not ever, anytime we go through Texas,
Oh,
anytime we go through, hubby's a bit dark. If you can't tell, he's got olive complexion. And so every single time,
and we kind
and
of hide it too,
I
Stephen.
really like to, like, pinch myself and stop myself because I always want to go see Senor, but
we
I don't.
we have a sombrero for our dog,
We do
and one time we put the sombrero
on the dog.
and I drove up, put my window down. He goes, "You both U.S. citizens?" And this dog looks at him and runs because she's afraid of people. And I look at him and say, "Si, senor." He goes, "Just go." Because he saw my army hat and all, he's like, "Just go." And so my
So
wife thought we were going to get searched that
I
time.
really did, y'all. He had the dog in the sombrero just looking at this dude, and I'm like, we are getting pulled over. We are getting searches, and there might not be good searches at this point because they
So,
feel like you're messing with them.
which is one of the reasons why we always carry our birth certificates on the truck so we can prove we're U.S. citizens. We have our birth certificates, our socials,
Social.
our IDs.
Yeah.
So we can prove where we were born and who our parents are and all.
Cajuns are typically darker,
Mm.
and the more we're in the sun, the darker we get. So hubby's a olive complexion, but if he's in the sun a lot, oh, he gets really dark. And so, yeah, that border's fun.
Yeah. And Bug, we've gone over that several times. We don't even know this guy. We've watched one of his videos, and we know that he's been mentioning us and mentioning
Lots
things.
of drivers, though,
but
like,
we don't know him. He's never met us. He's never called us. He's never, we never even ran into him at a terminal or anywhere. We
if
don't
he
know.
wants to call, we'll introduce him to the Lord because he needs him.
Mm. So we knew when we were going to do a live that was going to be one of the things that people were going to ask us over and over again.
But y'all, we don't get offended, and we really do not get angry. So it's just one of those things. You get used to people making stuff up, and you just learn how to ignore it because they're going to come around or they're not. They're going to believe what they're going to believe.
Yep. And
can't let it affect your day.
Yeah, and as we said before, we try not to give that any merit because it's just a ridiculous accusation. So, yeah, that's probably just from him. Yeah. No one else, anyone that knows us, doesn't even ask about that because they know how we are. Yep. And they know that we are a faithful Christian couple. We're faithful to each other, and we don't worry about that. We have never met this guy and probably never will.
No.
But he's going to say what he wants to say. And as we've said, Jersey, a couple of times, he has taken videos down from him claiming to be with other people because they threatened to sue him for false accusations. And so he's just trying to use this to get internet famous, and he's going to use anybody who he can. So,
and this platform is not about us getting internet famous. This platform is about helping people. And sometimes when you're trying to do the right thing, people twist it, and people, can't take that you're actually trying to help somebody. So, yeah. Let him talk. Let him get all his little hot air out. And maybe
he'll move on to the next thing soon enough.
Now, the next thing that gets him attention.
Yeah. I don't know if she did or not.
What?
What I have heard, which is just rumor, conjecture, probably third, fourth, fifth hand, is that Miss Mother Trucker did see it and didn't make a response video. From what I understand, she contacted an attorney, and he took it down. I think she's the one that the other guy put the video back up to prove that he had made the video.
We don't get into all that. No logistical stuff. I mean, people can say what they're going to say. They have no proof. They
Mm.
just talking to get attention because that's what they like to do. So pay him attention if you want, but just know he's not speaking truths about a lot of people, and that's kind of going to bite him one day because people don't like to be lied about. And while some people like us will just pray for you, other people will sue you or other things that I don't even want to mention or think about. So,
Mm-hmm.
you really shouldn't base your platform on degrading other people.
Yeah, and I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he wakes up one day and has trouble with his truck because of what he said about other people.
Won't
I
be from
mean,
us, but
no, it won't be from us, but I mean, it's happened. I
yeah,
mean,
you
uh,
reap what you sow. So definitely shouldn't sow bad seeds. We can pray for you, definitely. I've seen some of your comments, Stephen.
but everybody needs prayer.
That's true.
Everybody.
Nobody's perfect. And tell you what, we don't claim to be, but the older you get, the more you realize that you just need to pray for each other because this world is just
Yeah.
messed up.
Yeah.
Anybody have a good question besides about this weird trucker who lies about everybody? Because that's getting a bit redundant. What's everybody having for supper? There you go. Hey,
We haven't even thought about
we
supper
have
yet.
not. We walked 2.5 miles.
Thank you, Stephen. Man, we appreciate it.
We walked 2.5 miles down to the Walmart and the Dollar Tree and that area in town, and then walked 2.5 miles back after eating at what was that, Applebee's?
Applebee's for
They
lunch.
had a good baked chicken with some vegetables. Um, so that was 5 miles of walking, and at this point, it's going to be a very easy supper because
We'll probably have a salad.
yeah, something just simple.
Or we, I hate to say it, but we might go into Arby's. We try not to eat fast food.
We really do not eat a lot of fast food.
Because that's one of the things that I feel is killing truckers right now. Is used to, back whenever I drove before I took my break and we raised our kids and I went back, came back, was we'd had restaurants, we had trucker parking, trucker sit down, only truckers could sit in this area, and they would actually check your CDL. And you would sit and you would talk with the truck drivers. You would go to the lounge and and it was home cooked meals. Now it's fast food. Everywhere you go, it's fast food, fast food, fast food.
There's either an Arby's or what's that junior place? Carl's
Jr., McDonald's,
Wendy's, Burger King,
Subway. And someone was saying, "Oh, Subway's healthy." And I pulled up on my phone and showed them where a foot long chicken teriyaki, sweet onion chicken teriyaki, had more carbs, more sugar, more everything that's bad for you than a Big Mac.
Yeah.
And they were like, "What?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "It's not good for you. It's better for you, some things, but it's not good for you."
Yeah.
And that's why we cook out of the truck 90% of the time. Usually we eat out once a week. On rare occasions like today, we were walking. I bought lunch for us.
Yeah. It was a healthy lunch though. Grilled chicken and broccoli and green beans. It was really good.
But that's one of the things killing our truck drivers. And I mean, I I've had 4 back surgeries. I used to, be very, very healthy, very, very, in shape. I was that guy that would run several miles a day from the time I got out of the Army until I hurt my back. I was that guy that would go to the gym, and I loved it. I loved being in shape. I hurt my back. I gained weight. It took me years to be able to get back in some semblance of shape. Became a diabetic, which took even longer. Now I'm down. I no longer my BMI is down to 28 now, uh, and I can run 2-3 miles without a problem. And I love to walk with my wife, and eating healthy and getting back in shape is great. But we know truck drivers who are well overweight and say that they're healthy and they're in shape and but yet they spend $60 to $80 just themselves on food every day because they refuse to cook in the truck. They refuse to walk anywhere, but they will literally back in an S pattern to get closer to the truck stop so you don't have to walk as far, just so they don't have to walk. And so we try to help people, and we try to let them know, hey, you can, because a lot of them are under the impression I'm behind the wheel for 11 hours a day. I don't have time for this. I got to get my 10 hours sleep. I drive for 11 hours. I've only got 3 hours. In that 3 hours, you can take a shower, you can exercise, and you can do YouTube. And when we're done with this live, I'm going to be playing Xbox with my grandkids. I mean, that
You have time for what you make time for. That's a popular quote our pastor says to because some people make time to read their Bibles and others do not. So he's always like, you have time for what you make time for.
right.
So definitely, what are you willing to make time for? Whether it's a walk, whether it's we're doing that Prime health and fitness challenge.
Yep.
And so we've been
I'm one of the people over 30 miles.
Yeah, he's been entering in his mileage, and he does way more miles than I do. Like, I did the 5-6 miles with him, but he woke up while I was still sleeping and went for a 2-mile walk.
I have about 8.5 miles in right now.
Yeah,
and
he
I'm
does.
probably going to have 10 to 12 by the end of the night.
Yeah. But if you need to know how to log into the Prime app to log into the fitness, we did do a video of that a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
Right around the 1st.
Driver Health and Fitness is what we named it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
anybody have any other questions?
Yeah, that's basically what we hopped on for, was just to answer any questions anybody had. Say hi, this is us. We're not who some people say we are.
And we wanted to try this out because it's a lot easier doing this, honestly, than taking videos. We usually try to do our videos in one shot. We do a little introduction for about 10, 15, 20 seconds. Then we do our actual introduction. Then we do the video we want to do. It's usually with no editing. And then I recently got into editing. I'm still editing the 2-day trip that we put everything we did.
That Washington to Florida trip.
No, it wasn't that one. No, it was the one before that.
California to Washington.
We're still working on the video of my birthday trip to Six Flags, which I might just use, because I got all the clips on my phone. I might just put it together and just put that instead of doing all that.
Like, several people have said, like Peruvian Trucker even said, editing takes so much time. If you can do it in one shot, or you can do a live video and just talk, it takes a whole lot less of your time.
Right, because he's still working on
editing his trip home.
Vacation.
Yep.
And
it takes a while to edit.
It does, and it takes a while to get it right and all. Especially if you're a perfectionist like he is. And but we're waiting from him to give us a call, so and let us know how everything's going. He said he was going to, and he's already said it on his videos that after his he finishes editing his video for his uh, break, that he's going to take a break from social media. So he did say he still watch our videos.
Oh,
So yeah, but we did finally meet him in person. We're gonna actually have to do a video about that and put the picture, the selfie we got with him. And
we enjoy
honestly,
meeting people on the
I
road.
was in my own little world. We just got to the terminal not long. We went in to eat breakfast. We were sitting down for breakfast, and I was intent on my meal. I was eating, and I hear, "Hi guys, how you doing?" And I looked up, and there he is.
He knew the voice before he knew his face. That's what's funny is we meet so many people on the road that we talk to on YouTube or talk to over the phone or on Facebook, and a lot of times you'll recognize their voice first because you've listened to their videos or watched, you know, what they've done. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, we love meeting people, and I'm still putting ducks in the trailers. So if you find a duck, let us know.
Yeah. And we've still been messing around. We like to keep busy. We like to do things.
You be safe too, and we'll keep you in prayers.
Yeah.
It's good to talk to you for longer than just a comment here or there.
Yeah. But on our trip to Walmart, I got me a carvable pumpkin, and I'm going to carve it here not long and put it in our window every night. So you'll see a jack-o'-lantern in our window if you see our truck. Yeah,
It's just
Steven,
stuff to keep
she
busy.
does most of the comments. If it's something she doesn't know, she'll ask me. But we try to check our YouTube for comments 3, 4, 5 times a day.
Yeah.
Um,
I
if
type while he's driving.
if we haven't responded to your comment, isn't that we didn't see it. It's just we haven't gotten to responding yet. Um, so sometimes she's like, okay, when we sit down for dinner, okay, let's go through and we'll do the comments. But
Especially if it's more technical. If you're needing something to know about Prime specific or something where um I have a I've done tech work before, but if you ask me something very technical about the truck, I'm gonna wait till he can kind of expand on what you need to know because I don't want to give you the wrong info.
yeah. All right. Well, does anybody else have any questions before we wrap it up?
Yep, because we're gonna eat some food and
Yeah.
relax.
We're about an hour past our dinner time.
But we did have a good lunch.
We did. And we did enjoy this. This is probably something we're going to try to do about once a week.
Or every other week.
Yeah. We did mess up. I didn't know that we needed to put in before our first live at least 24 hours early. So that's why we did it a day late. Thank everybody for coming and seeing and visiting and saying hi. We do enjoy this.
It was nice getting questions.
Do the comments back and forth, and we'll probably do a live on just what we've been doing, and probably do a couple things.
Oh, you're welcome.
Oh, no problem, man. No problem at all. And one of the things I noticed your name. One of the things that a lot of people ask me about, call me about, message me about, text me on my phone, which the number we put in the description is my personal cell phone, is about diabetes. I am a truck driver with diabetes. It is very well under control. I have not gotten a reading over 145 in the last 2 weeks. That's another reason why I like to stay in shape and try, and that's one of the reasons why I still got this gut here, because of the insulin resistance that my body has and stores fat, and that's why I'm trying to work it off. But if you have a question about diabetes, truck driving, anything like that, feel free to hit me up. I'll be glad to answer those. And we are planning on going live again. And yes, those are just rumors. Can't believe everything we hear. All right,
Go
guys.
figure.
Well, if there's not anything else, we're going to go ahead and call it a night. As always, as we always end, keep your shiny side up, your rubber side down, your mirrors between the ditches, and we'll catch y'all on the back haul. And we're going to wait a few seconds, see if anybody else has any questions, and we're going to go ahead and close it out. Okay, well, y'all have a great night, and we'll talk to you later. I think it's just,
Do you think X works?
I think that does. We'll find
We're
out.
still figuring it out.
Or you should want to stop streaming. Yeah.